You know, sometimes it would just be better if I was wrong about everything. Being right about Utah and only being right about Utah kind of stinks. But yeah, this is Newbie Sports. All right, so my non-top 25 key game ended up being key in a different way. It opens the door for North Texas to possibly become the Group of Five representative in the college football playoff. Navy lost pretty handedly. I picked them to win. They did not. But North Texas, with only being a one-loss team, could possibly open the door for them to go to be the Group of Five representative. Depends on how Memphis does. If Memphis continues to win, then it'll be Memphis that represents the Group of Five. But yeah, good job for North Texas, and sorry Miami. Sorry Navy. We'll get to Miami, but yeah, this is probably why Navy wasn't ranked. Is because anticipation of things like this. I really wish that we wouldn't rank people or deprive rankings of people depending on likely outcomes of the future. But there's that. Um, so yeah, Navy lost their game, and then my third ranked game, Vanderbilt at Texas, that ended up being a lot more intense than anyone anticipated. Really, going into the fourth quarter, being down 24 points, 34-10, and Vanderbilt going 21 unanswered points. That was a phenomenal feat, absolutely phenomenal feat, and then just barely not getting that onside kick. That's that's heartbreaking. Diego Pavia did all that he could to come back in that game, and it's just barely couldn't get that onside kick. Now they had less than 40 seconds to get the I think 40 yards or so that they would have needed to get into reasonable field goal range, and they didn't have any timeouts left. So even if they got the onside kick, that's not a guarantee that they could have tied it or even gone to win in overtime. Um, but my pick was wrong. I picked Vanderbilt, and Texas came out on top. And Arch is starting to get his momentum, starting to get there. I remember Texas being ranked so high at the beginning of the year, and it was because Arch Manning is coming in to be the starting quarterback for Texas, and I just remember thinking, why? What has he done? But uh, then he had his struggles at the beginning part of the season, and he seems to be getting his stride to be able to really be the quarterback that this program needs. And I wish him success. I don't think this is going to be the year that Texas has the success that they've had in recent years. I don't think they're going to be winning the SEC, for example, and as a result of that, they might be out of the playoffs just because if they get their third loss, I'm pretty sure they're going to be done. But there's Vanderbilt at Texas, Oklahoma at Tennessee. That was a lot more of a defensive fest than I anticipated it was going to be as well. And I also picked that one wrong. I picked Tennessee, Oklahoma won. So, all right, good job, Sooners. You have effectively ended Tennessee's season, unless Tennessee manages to somehow get to the SEC championship game. They're probably done. They're probably done. They're a three-loss SEC team now. I don't perceive that they're going to be getting any post-season action this season. So the door's still slightly open for Oklahoma if they continue to win out. I don't think they will. But yeah. And then the ranked number one game that I had. It's still going on, actually, right now. But right after that punt return, that game was over. That game is over. It might be wrapping up as I'm making this video, but it'll be long. It was long done. Right when that punt return happened for a touchdown, the first punt return for years for a touchdown for Utah, by the way. I can't remember what the announcer said, but first punt return for a touchdown in years. And yeah, so those are the ones that I covered. Some things that I didn't focus on so much. I thought Miami going into SMU would be a lot bigger than it was. SMU comes out on top of there, knocking off Miami, and I think Miami season is basically over now. I don't think they're getting to the ACC championship game, and with these losses that they've had, I don't think that they're going to get any love in the college football playoff rankings. I think Miami's done. And then Notre Dame manages to get another win. If they have to win out in order to even be considered, in my mind. If they lose one more game, they're done for the rest of the season. And then Georgia survives the swamp in Florida. And that pass, that looked like a pass to me. But the rules analyst was saying the call on the field was an incomplete pass. And there wasn't irrefutable evidence to overturn that call. If I had seen the review, goodness, if there's any doubt that this is a low quality production, there we go. But maybe we'll get better as we go along. But yeah, that was a completed catch. But it was ruled incomplete, and there just wasn't enough there to definitively reverse the call. So that's one of those things that just kind of stinks. I think that referees should have the opportunity to look at the video footage before making a call at all. I think that would be an excellent rule change to do. That referees have the opportunity to look at the replay. I think that it would be a really, really good thing if the referees had the opportunity to review a play before making a call. Maybe there are already reasons why that's not a thing. If you know why that's not a thing, please leave a comment. I would like to learn and grow. That's the purpose of this channel, is so that I can learn and grow and maybe provide something that you hadn't heard before. And then hopefully I get clarification on things that I don't know that I might know. And then I'll wrap things up with the Big 12 playoff picture now. It's still possible that the Big 12 could get 2 teams in. That's less likely. That's less likely now. Utah gets another home win in the Big 12, and it hands Cincinnati their first Big 12 loss, which puts BYU at the top of the Big 12 for the second season. And we'll see how BYU does the rest of the year. The Bearcats are not a bad team. They played really bad today against a really good Utah team. And as much as I tease them, and as much as I hate that the national media picks them to win their conference at the beginning of the year, when they haven't done anything to merit that, in my mind, they're not a bad team. They're not. And I think the Bearcats are still a threat. I think the Texas Tech is still a threat to BYU. So BYU could lose both of those games. If BYU splits those games, though, BYU will go to Arlington, I think. And I am pretty sure that BYU is going to fare pretty well in the Big 12 championship game. But they have to at least split those games. If they don't split those games, they're not going. And then they won't be going to the playoffs. So, and then Houston lost today too. So that's another big thing. They could possibly lose another game. They lost to West Virginia at Houston. So, pretty sure it was at Houston. Could be wrong. If I'm wrong, comment below. But yeah, we'll see what the first college football playoff rankings is going to be. I'll have a prediction of mine coming on Monday, and this has been Newbie Sports.